Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Made by Marymount, the official Marymount Athletics podcast. This is episode 16, and today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And I am joined by three members of our athletic administrative team. I'm joined by Rachel Ramirez, Ellen O'Brien, and Jill McCabe. And join me as we talk about their roles here at Marymount and their collegiate experiences. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Made by Marymount, the official Marymount Athletics podcast. Today is a very special podcast because today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And today I am joined by Marymount's fabulous women. Today I am joined by Rachel Ramirez, Ellen O'Brien, and Jill McCabe of our administrative side of athletics. How are you ladies doing today?
Excellent. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for having us.
Oh, we're good. Thank you.
I'm so excited to get to talk to you ladies today, and I want to thank you again, for finding the time in your day, to come down here and chat with me for a little bit, because I know you guys are super busy. We'll talk a little bit about that and kind of like what you guys do, because we all know you as girl bosses, as I like to say, but, there's more to it than that, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to kind of go in like an order here. So Rachel, I'll start with you. So you are a business operations manager. Tell us a little bit about what your role is in athletics.
So I work directly with Jill and Ellen and Ryan. I oversee the budgets, make sure there's responsible spending. I may also help with, day-to-day operations, maybe scheduling a bus or helping coaches plan an away game with regards to hotel stay. I'm usually pulled in a few different directions, so I'm pretty much here to help in any way that I can, but primarily overseeing budgets and the financial part of athletics.
So you're on the money side.
I am on the money side.
You pay attention to the money side,
yes.
Which is very important. Mm-hmm. Very important. Okay, so Ellen, Director for Compliance. You're the scary one in a way. You're a little scary sometimes.
I'm not scary.
I agree, but I don't want to be caught in your office. Tell us a little bit about, what you do.
Okay, well, everyone's welcome in my office at any time. I'm there, available.
It's a cozy
not
area.
Scary. Compliance lady is what some of you have started calling me. But yes, compliance is in my title. I'm also a Title IX deputy, so still trying to learn the ropes in that regard. But I have some sport oversight, oversee 12 of our 22 sports. Right now I'm also helping with the scheduling of all the Lee Center facilities and our athletics field and everything like that. So depends on the day, but mainly compliance, eligibility, making sure student athletes are staying on track and teams and coaches are following the rules to keep us in good standing. Okay,
and Jill, you get into a couple areas here. You're in student wellness, you're in athletics, and you're in ministry. Tell us a little bit about your athletics role, but then your other campus jobs.
Sure. So athletics still is the majority of my job, for sure. It's just busy, and we're expanding, and we do some great things here in athletics, always kind of pushing the envelope and expanding. The important thing for me is to build a dream team, which I have. I have amazing administrators. Here you have two, and then we have Ryan and Tommy and Jimmy, as well as my other areas with Father Gabriel and Jen and Alana. So they've been tremendous. It's really important to have strong leaders, so this way my job is easier. But on day-to-day with athletics, it's really kind of keeping the operations moving and, again, working closely with my managing staff here, so that we can really give the student athletes the best experience possible. And at the same time, really working for the university to continue to expand and do keep enhancing our programs, right? So we're expanding. We've added men's and women's wrestling in recent years, so there was a lot of work behind the scenes to research and determine if that was a smart move for us, right? And it has shown to be a very smart move. We've had some great success there, but really looking at how we can support our student athletes and provide a really good experience in our entire community.
Perfect. So we're going to go back a couple of years, only like 2 or 3 because you guys are super young. We're going to talk about college
I like
a little
that.
bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ella.
I think you guys are like the same age as me, honestly. Like 21, right?
That's the way we act. So
yeah, I see it. So, Rachel, you're very unique. You graduated from Marymount.
I did.
Tell me a little bit about, that, because you left Marymount for a couple of years and then you decided to come back. So obviously you liked it here enough that you were willing to come back and, have a job here. What was that? What is it like having been a student here and now having like an administrative role in athletics?
Yeah, so my time at Marymount, probably one of the best moments of my life. I have a background in English literature, and when I got to Marymount, and my advisor showed me the list of classes, it was like a Christmas list of learning, as dorky as that sounds, but it was the best time. I also love the community here. It's a smaller group. The largest class that I was in had 12 students, and we all still keep in touch. Graduated from Marymount. Kept in touch with professors, and I had a plan in place with regards to getting into teaching. It didn't go according to plan, so I continued just working. Tried to find an opportunity to get into education with more of a supportive administrative role. Kept an eye out at universities, and I found this pop up. And I live farther away, so I said, okay, well, I know the commute, that's a no-brainer. It's going to be awful going up and going back, but it's something that I want to do. My husband reminded me that commute's going to be really bad. I said, yeah, it is, but let's do it. So I found a really good place here. I think it's exactly what I was looking for. That's, I'll still say I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but it was important for me to come back. So even though I'm not directly working with English literature or anything like that, it was still important for me to come back. It meant something for me.
So, when you looked at that list of classes and you said it was a Christmas list, what were some of the ones that you took? I'm wondering, because being a communication major, I wonder if there's any like intertwining ones. Yeah,
so there were a few journalism classes, if that's something that's up your alley. There was one semester where my advisor, I just followed the list. So I was working full time. And when we got to the end of the list, my advisor said, okay, this is the semester you're waiting for. This is all the elective classes. I took a class that focused on Shakespeare, major women writers, major authors, which was a 3-hour class, and that was really long. American playwrights. Let me think. And then on my list of courses, there was a few that philosophy courses. So one of my favorite courses was, I think it was called a Catholic morality class. And the reason why I loved it so much is it had a lot of students from different majors. So there were only 2 English majors in the class, but we had IT and nursing, and it was all debating Catholic morality arguments every week, and it was an excellent class.
I agree with you. When you have like the different majors in the classes, it makes it so much more, like it makes it fun, especially too with like, adding the athlete perspective in there too. Like you have like athletes that are different majors, so then you have different friends in your class, and it just makes everything more fun when you get a like different group of people in there.
It really adds to the Marymount community that I was looking for.
Yes. So Ellen, you were a basketball player at Denison.
Long time ago.
Couple years.
Not that long ago.
So tell me a little bit about your basketball career. You were a pretty good basketball player, to my knowledge.
Thank you. I ended up looking for schools that had sport management majors and things in that line of work. Actually, my high school teammate, when I was a junior and she was graduating, she ended up going to Denison University, and so that's how I heard about it. That's how the coach there then kind of heard about me. And I visited, loved it, and it ended up being the only school I applied to and did early decisions. So it was kind of a done deal, which was kind of unusual for me because I was more of a like close to home type of person. My parents never thought I was going to move like more than 10 minutes away, so didn't even like overnight camps in high school. But I loved it. It was a great home for me for 4 years, a lot of great contacts and mentors, coaches, administrators that I really look up to this day, and that really made an impact on me.
And you graduated with a sports management degree, is that correct?
Yep, sports management, and I also ended up majoring in psychology as well. So that was kind of something I fell into. I think it was my freshman year. It was a first-year seminar class, and it was called The 7 Sins of Memory, and it was really unique and really cool. I loved the professor, and he was a big basketball fan and an advocate for our coach at the time. So that kind of set me on a track. I was like, maybe I'll pursue this a little bit. Maybe the sports psych combination would help me down the line. So I ended up double majoring in those.
I feel like that definitely plays a role into what you're doing now, so I think that was like perfect.
I do want to put a plug in because she's, very shy, Ellen. She does hold the NCAA record for Division III for the assists, if I am correct.
Sort of. My senior year, I was the statistical champion for assist-to-turnover ratio.
For the NCAA, so
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
You just weren't going to mention it?
I don't usually mention that.
That's something to be proud of. That's pretty cool. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, but I was fortunate. That was my senior year, and we had so many great other guards and posts that if I made those passes, I knew they were going to make them. So without them finishing those plays, it never would have come to fruition.
Is women's basketball one of your favorite sports to watch here at Marymount? Because of that, because it's like a personal
question. Put us on the spot, Ella. We can't have favorites.
I mean,
well, maybe not like favorite. Okay, maybe not favorite. That's a good point. But like
Enjoy.
something you would really enjoy.
I do. I also like that it's indoors and not out in the cold. But no, I love watching basketball. Of course, I love overseeing and watching the teams that report to me or coaches that report to me and supporting them as well, and kind of getting more experience in sports that I don't have that much knowledge of or didn't coming into this. So it's been a neat experience.
So Jill, you played soccer at RIT.
U of R.
U of R.
University of Rochester. I did my
Oh.
master's at RIT.
Okay, so I was jumping ahead a little bit. But you're a national champion, am I correct?
Correct, back to back.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it was a great time in my life as well, and something you'll never forget.
So can we talk about that? Like, what was that like? You won your national championship one year, and you knew, okay, well, we have to do it again because once you've done it once, you know you can do it again. What was that like at such like a young age, kind of knowing that the pressure was on?
Yeah, I guess we didn't feel the pressure per se. I mean, it was like we set a bar and we wanted to continue to achieve that, right? So we had a great group of players at Rochester, and we just worked really, really hard. We had great team chemistry. We had a tremendous coach. He really treated us like family, so I think that was a really important piece. And that's where it goes back to like what I do today. I want to make sure the student athletes have a great experience. Whether we win or lose, it's still about the experience, right? So we're all athletes have that, and coaches have that competitive desire to win. Right, but we're not always going to get the wins. But it was a great opportunity. Not many people get to finish their season or their careers with a win. So yeah, it was awesome.
And so going as a whole again here, today with being National Girls in Sports Day, and all of us here, but you guys in particular, are women in sports one way or another. Is that hard sometimes? Like, do you feel ever like there's a time where, you're looked down because you are a woman? Like, what is your push to keep going even when like it can be hard when things like that happen?
Well, I guess I'll go first. No, you know what? I just always just try to work hard and do my best. So I think if you as a person know you've given your all, then you have to be proud of what you've done, and you keep pursuing to get better. But yeah, I think thankfully over many decades now, I think the field has leveled out a little bit, so men do respect the women in the athletics field. More and more Division I athletic directors of the big time programs are now female, so it's like we're kind of breaking that ceiling, and some women before us and alongside of us nowadays are doing a tremendous job to help kind of even the field and give us that respect that we definitely deserve, because we work just as hard as our male counterparts.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of good work experiences here and prior to Marymount, and a number of really wonderful male mentors as well. So I'm lucky. I don't think I've ever felt like I was being held back or treated differently because I was a female. So, yeah, no, I think we're trending in the right direction in that regard.
I agree. Rachel, do you have anything to add?
Well, I obviously can't really speak to it on the athletic side, but I will say coming here and jumping into the world of athletics, I'm seeing it progress. And I do want to say that because I work primarily with the coaches, male and female, everybody has been very welcoming. I'm very willing to take the time to show me the way and teach and make sure that we're all heading in the right direction. So I think you just keep doing your best, and you keep pushing forward.
And I think just to kind of piggyback on that, Rachel talked about learning more about the athletics world, and there'll be a compliance rule that comes up that I'm telling a coach about, and she'll come and be like, can you explain that rule to me? Like, nobody wants to learn unless they need that information, but she's always trying to grow and learn more about athletics in the department and how things should run. So I really value that and appreciate her.
Dorkiness.
Yeah.
I'm really embracing the dorkiness in the office, so
Hey, it's great.
Have
You
to.
got to. It's what makes the office, you know what I mean? Like, it makes it a welcoming place.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off a little bit of what you guys said, too. Like, I think Marymount as a whole, and administrative and coaches, is a very welcoming community. It's not something where, like, you feel, like, awkward being somewhere where, like, you shouldn't, like, not necessarily shouldn't be, but it's, like, a weird place to be. Like, it's always felt very comfortable, and, like, I've been given the space to, you know, by two males to, like, pursue my dreams, and I'm very grateful for that. And so, like, I agree with the whole welcoming, you know, community at Marymount. I think that that's very important. So I'm going to ask you guys some fun questions now. Okay. As women in sports, who are your favorite female athletes? You can list one or two, or three if you want.
I mean, I'll start. I'm terrible at any favorites questions because I'm indecisive when it comes to that kind of thing. And it also varies, like, the time in my life or in what field and all that. But probably one of the first ones that I really looked up to from a basketball perspective was Ivory Latta, who was a point guard at UNC around the time I was about to graduate from high school. And she was 5'6", point guard for a big D1 program. Her grit, determination just overpowered any discrepancies in her height, and her leadership was really impressive. I think they ended up retiring her jersey at the end of her career, so she was really fun to watch, and I really admired her playing style. I can't say that I was able to mirror it, but you can always try. So
Right.
I'd probably go with Christine Lilly, a member of the U.S. Women's National Team that, you know, won Olympics, won World Cups, and I'll choose her because I had an opportunity to kind of work with the U.S. team for like a week, or, you know, host them up in Rochester, and she had an incredible personality and her work ethic on the field. You know, where the ball's just was it hit long down the flank, and many people would not chase it down, thinking like it's going out, but she chased it down and did like a slide to keep it in play, but most other people would have probably like been like, it's out. So it's just her work ethic, and she was always, I wouldn't say in the shadows, but, you know, Mia Hamm, Michelle Akers were also, Julie Foudy, they were also there, and they're also all tremendous and in their own right. But so she was a little bit in the shadows, but she was, you know, an incredible person and her work ethic. And then you also have Marta, who is also kind of like that for the Brazilian national team. So those are my two favorites. Soccer-oriented, obviously.
Oh, you want me to answer this question?
Yes.
I unfortunately
Who's
cannot.
your best author?
that's a better one.
Yeah, I
Female
guess,
author.
since we're talking about women, I would say an author. Her name is Lady Mary Wortley, and she was competing with a male author at the time. So you're very typical, like, a male is going to publish this piece. She came right in, gave a counterpiece. He did the same. She did this. So it went on for years. But she held her ground. She kept going, kept writing. And I think I liked her because she kind of broke the barrier on a few different genres, took a different spin on fiction, and just really knew how to in a classy way, shut down what the male author was saying at the time. So I'll go with her.
What were some of the books that she wrote?
She did letters in direct response to, the male author's name is Alexander Pope, so she wrote letters in response to it. And very, what do you kids say these days? Like, throw shade at each other? That's exactly what was done.
Or like,
Yeah.
Throwing
Young
shade.
adults. What do young adults do?
I don't even know what we say. Is that I think it's throw shade. I don't know.
So hers was not necessarily books, but short stories and letters in direct response, throwing shade.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So you put her in a comfort zone, right? We talked books, or
Another reason why I love being here.
Exactly. That was good, Jill. I think that shows the relationship that the three of you have too. And I think it's like that, like utter respect that like you have. You know what I mean? Taking what every person likes into consideration. And so, okay, you leave for work today, or okay, maybe more or less tomorrow. This doesn't count for Ellen because she's going out of town this weekend. She gets to hang out with me. She's super lucky.
Very lucky.
We'll see what she says on Sunday when we get back. But you go home from work on a Friday, and then theoretically, I know you guys don't really have off days because you're in with games on Saturdays, and you're in Friday nights until, you know, the scary hours of the night. But what are you doing to wind down after work?
Yeah, what does wind down mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean these days?
Okay, theoretically, if you had a free day and you could do whatever you wanted, what are some things that you would do?
Check my emails.
Yeah.
Make sure they don't build up
nothing's
too
on
much.
fire.
We have too many workaholics, right? And yeah, work-life balance is very important, and we probably all can get better at it. But yeah, relaxing and hanging with friends and family, right? Going out to dinner, just kind of relaxing, hanging with the pups.
I was about to say,
My
you have
dogs.
some dogs, don't you?
Yeah, I have a couple dogs.
That's so fun. I love
So,
dogs. What kind of dogs are they?
I got one that's like a pit mix. She's awesome, Daisy. She was a rescue from Puerto Rico. And then little Gracie, we just rescued her this past fall, and she's a little Boston Terrier.
Oh.
So they get it, they're buds. It's
That's
amazing,
so
so it's awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
Jill is a big camper.
You're a camper?
Well, we call it camp, but it's not a camper per se. I'm not that probably brave. But we have a camp. We call it a camp, but it's like a 1950s trailer that sits up on the St. Lawrence River up in the Thousand Islands. And it's the most beautiful. If you haven't ever been to the Thousand Islands,
have
I
not.
suggest it. It's incredibly beautiful. It's basically across the St. Lawrence River is Canada. So you're out in the waters boating, and all of a sudden you're in the Canadian waters, which was a little
Wow.
interesting during COVID when we didn't realize we were crossing the border and going to get yelled at.
Hey, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah, you live and learn. It's all good.
All right, Ellen, besides checking your email,
So once that's done, most Saturdays I try to get over to my parents' house. They live 20 minutes from here. That was one of the big perks from moving from Connecticut last year to here, to be around them, because I was only seeing them about once or twice a year for 10 years. So that's great, and hang out with the family dog, Millie the dog. She's my favorite.
what
She's
kind of dog?
a rescue lab boxer mix type.
I'm a lab fan. I grew up with a lab for 17 almost years, so I'm a big lab fan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So watch sports with my dad, or golf, or what he's into horse racing and watching that all the time. So that's usually on the TV
No
there.
sports betting, though. She doesn't
No,
bet.
no, I do not. No, don't bet on it.
Good.
Going out to dinner and just kind of trying to relax a little bit before we get into the next week.
So, Rachel, I'm going to guess that you're going to read some a little bit. Am I right?
Yep. I try to. That's been my goal the last couple of years, because I don't know, the English majors that are watching this will know that there's usually a pile of books that you're never going to get around to reading, so I just keep adding to that pile. But no, on Saturdays I will probably check my email first to make sure nothing's on fire. Then I'll maybe clean the house, but now these days I have a 9-month-old, so I
So
kind
you have a
of...
little baby at home.
Yeah, so she is usually, I normally spend time with her obviously at home, but Monday to Friday and then the commute, so I kind of recharge, and I usually spend a majority of Saturday and Sunday with her.
Napping. Reading nursery rhymes. No, just kidding.
Trying to watch Netflix while she's asleep, because we have cartoons on, and
Right. What is her favorite activity to do right now? She's still kind of young, but
She's still kind of young. She's moving though, so she's
she's
crawling
moving.
around. Yeah, so
you can keep an eye on her.
yeah, we need to work on baby proofing.
She'll be your next soccer or basketball player. You never know.
Yeah, she was a kicker.
Whoop.
There we go. There we go.
She'll be kicking a soccer one day. You'll be like, yeah, I
Yep.
could have told you this a couple years ago.
Yep. My husband is athletic, so there is a 50-50 chance that she could be in sports or be in the library. I don't know.
And you
Or
know
both.
what? Either
Or
one
both.
works.
Or
Yeah,
both.
yeah, or
You
both.
right?
Yeah,
Student athlete.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
about
student athlete. There you go.
or both. You're right.
All right. So my last question here is, what is your favorite part about working in Marymount?
I'd say the community and the students. I mean, I really love the diversity of Marymount. It's very different from where I came from, and I really enjoy kind of learning different cultures, meeting different people. I mean, just the other day we had the Bahrain embassy here to play in a volleyball game, so I don't think many people and students can, or especially student athletes, can say they played up against the embassy and then the ambassador from another country, right? It's pretty cool.
Men's volleyball players were like, just played volleyball with the Bahrain ambassador, and I was like, you could put that on your resume, I feel like, because not many people can say that.
Right? It's amazing. So there's a lot of great opportunities being right here in the nation's capital, and then just here at Marymount with the diversity is amazing.
I'll echo the community piece. Even from the day I interviewed on campus last October, September, sometime around then, everyone was super welcoming, some great dialogue, and it just seemed like a really wonderful fit. And after being in a conference office at the D2 level for 10 years, I had really missed the daily interaction with a lot of people and the student athletes in particular, and getting to see them compete day in and day out as opposed to just at championships throughout the year.
I have to say the community also. I feel like we see each other every day. You know, probably I see these guys more than my husband sometimes. So you have to like who you work with, and you see them every day. But not even just within the athletics department, even in other departments who I do communicate with often. It's the community. We're all here to get the job done, and everybody
support the students.
Yeah, support the students. You're all here for that.
And so I lied. That wasn't my last question. I actually have one more. But it's going to be different. Rachel, I have a different one for you, and then I'm going to ask one for you guys. So you got Ellen and Jill. What has been – so, Ellen, you've only been here. You haven't been here as long, but you can still answer this question. I know you can. What has been,
She has faith in you.
Thank you.
What has been your favorite, memory in athletics?
Oh, wow.
Maybe not necessarily – okay. Favorite is hard because you don't want to pick favorites, but most memorable.
There's been so many, really. Mm-hmm. There's last year we had 10
year
championships,
crazy,
right?
So.
I mean, having 10 championships, it's hard to pick any one of them. I mean, watching the student athletes win a championship, I know that many, not all, but many punch tickets to the NCAA is extraordinary to see that excitement and that passion come out in their sport. I don't know. It's really tough, watching the basketball teams. We had a tremendous crowd, and it was really exciting games, and seeing them cut down the net. And then our men's soccer team for the first time winning the championship and having a huge crowd out at Longbridge and everyone rushing the field. There was a little bit of a nightmare for game management, but we handled it.
Nonetheless, we powered through.
But there's been so many. Even just the other day, watching our wrestling program in the final bout take a win from Gettysburg, who's an established program, was exciting. So there's so many exciting moments. It's hard to pick one. I mean, I've had so many, and I'm very fortunate for that, right? We've had some great success, and we have some great athletes and coaches. Coaches are awesome.
She stole my answer again, but I'm going to echo the championships, just seeing all the hard work throughout the season, off-season, throughout the year, that coming to fruition and winning a championship is just so tremendous to see, and the emotions of the student athletes, the coaches, the families that are there, the fans. It is really, you can't make it up. You got to experience it. But within the year and a half that I've been here, I think overall, over the period of time, I've appreciated more and more student athletes know who I am and just stop in and say hi. Or if they have an issue or want to talk through something, I think they feel comfortable stopping in and talking to the compliance lady or EOB or whoever.
EOB.
A couple of nicknames going around there. So.
And then Rachel, what has been, so you have the student, outlook on things, but you're also an employee. So kind of through all that, what has been one of your favorite memories at Marymount?
I guess I'll say as an employee, I think my favorite moment is, I guess when I started, I'll say that. I think a combination of both. Everybody was extremely welcoming, really embraced. So it's it's not like in high school where like the jocks sit together and then you have the library nerds sit together. So like being in athletics and how welcoming like my first few months were, I'll probably just say that's probably what's kept me here, and that's the most memorable. And then I let the professors know in the English department that I was back, and they started an email thread, and they said the subject was Rachel's back in town, so that was really nice to see.
Yeah.
And I guess as a student, I mean, oh gosh, I don't know, probably you make.
Yeah,
After all that hard work.
Getting the diploma.
Yeah.
After all that hard
the championship,
work.
right?
Yeah, actually that's true. I mean, I was trying to pick one in all of my favorite classes, but no, you do all this hard work and you get to walk down and get your degree and call it a day.
I did it in high school, obviously, but to think that that's going to be me next year is like so weird, because time really does fly.
Yeah. 4 college years, the years
They go by quick. But I want to thank you ladies for joining me today. It was so special to get to talk to you and get to know you guys on a different level. I know you guys as administrators, and resources for me when I need something, and I think that's really special. And I know a lot of other people see you all as like that too, and I think that that's really special. To not just be administrators, but be, resources for student athletes and, students in general too, as a place to come to. So I want to thank you guys again for showing, not only me, but other women, that we can make it in the world, in the athletics world. So I want to thank you guys again. And I'm super excited, to continue our journey in athletics all together.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ella.
Ella.
Thank you. And we love
you.
the Made by Marymount podcast. I think
Yes.
it's a really great idea, and you've done a tremendous job doing that and working with Jacob and Tommy, Tom and Jake, as some people refer to them too. Everyone can start doing that now. But no, tremendous job.
Jay.
Yeah,
TNJ. Thank you so much. I love it. It's so fun. I've said it once. I get to learn so much about, not just athletes and not just coaches, but now administrators, people that I thought when I walked through the doors of Marymount my freshman year, I didn't think I'd be talking to you guys here. I was like, if I'm talking to them, that cannot be a good thing. But yet, here I am. We're just chatting it up about your college days. And so I think that that's really special. So thank you.
It was. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.